It's Friday Eve. It's weather for Weather Geeks time. My daily in-depth weather video that I can get into a lot more of the nitty-gritty of the weather than I can on TV, where my time's a little bit restricted. I also kind of do these videos to give you a behind-the-scenes look at some of the stuff that I'm looking at as I sit in this office and prepare the forecast that I present on TV each afternoon and evening. All right, it's about 2 o'clock on this Thursday, and here's what's going on. A lot of clouds around, chilly temperatures, gusty winds, but no snow locally at the moment. We have a little bit of snow up in Lake County, extreme northern parts of Ashtabula. But of course, the bigger deal is the return of the lake effect into southwest New York, hitting the same places that have been just pulverized over the last few days. This is the band right here, just south of downtown Buffalo. North of Buffalo, not a thing going on. You go south and you run into just feet and feet and feet of snow. And this zone stands to pick up another couple or few feet before the week is through, adding on to the 60, 70, 75, 80 inches that some spots have gotten or are about to get. So it's just a remarkable situation playing out on there. Unfortunately, it is a deadly situation. There have been some fatalities, heart attacks, someone pulled out of their car, someone pinned under a car, all sorts of havoc being caused by this lake effect snow. So as meteorologists, we look at this in awe and wonder of the science, and there's certainly a lot to be learned from it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime event, probably, but we have to remember the human side of things as well. And while this is really cool, something that's really cool sometimes, unfortunately, causes some injuries or fatalities. All right, back here closer to home this afternoon, it's about as cold as we expected today. We've snuck up a degree or two higher than our forecast high. 25 at 2 o'clock at the Youngstown Warren Airport, wind chill at 11. Feels like 10 down in Newcastle. Satellite picture this afternoon shows kind of a combination of clouds and snow cover across Ohio and into western parts of PA. Zooming out and taking a look at the rest of the country, you can see precipitation-wise, there's not a lot going on today. Take off the satellite here. A little bit of rain along the west coast. This rainmaker coming into the west coast is actually what's going to change the pattern here for a few days anyway across the country. Taking a look at temperatures across the nation at this time. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this. This is a fairly ho-hum temperature pattern as well. It's certainly colder than average, again, in the Midwest and the Northeast, but in the South, it's not bad. 60s and 70s, it's up to 77 in Miami this afternoon. The cold that we're going to see over the next day or two will be well below average, but compared to average, not quite as extreme as we had earlier on in the week. All right, I want to bring up something a little different here. I want to show you a couple of things going on as we head into late today and tonight. What I'm showing you here is the 500 millibar chart. 500 millibars is about 18,000 feet above our heads. It's a good level to look at to see various features, but one of the things we look at is vorticity or spin. We can also pick out where troughs and ridges in the atmosphere are if you're a little new to that idea. Here's a trough right here, and a trough of low pressure typically is associated with unsettled weather, whereas a ridge of high pressure, which kind of looks kind of like this bulge right here down in Texas, usually associated with fair weather in most cases. Not always, but in most cases. Anyway, what I've also got plotted up here are the wind direction arrows at about 5,000 feet above our heads, and that's an important level when it comes to lake effect, 5,000 feet. Notice right now the prevailing winds at 5,000 feet are generally out of the southwest, and that's keeping the lake effect up along the immediate lake shore and then aimed at southwestern New York. But as we go into late today, I'm going to zoom back out for just a second. As this trough of low pressure, the bottom of that trough or the base of it's kind of situated like this, as this pivots in, rotates in, that's going to kind of disrupt the flow and change things a little bit. So we go into late this afternoon. Here's at 4 o'clock. Data to load here. You're going to see this trough pivoting in from the west, and the wind direction at about 5,000 feet above our heads. Apologize for my slow internet as usual. The wind direction will start to become a little more westerly, and then eventually as we head towards evening, watch what happens as the base of that trough moves overhead. By about 8 o'clock this evening, the wind direction will have moved from pretty much southwest to west, and now a little bit more of a northwesterly component to that breeze at 5,000 feet. That'll become especially pronounced a couple of hours after this. What this is going to do, it's going to take the lake effect bands and start tilting them more in a westerly direction and then eventually a northwesterly direction, so that some of that action is going to start to be aimed at northeast Ohio and into western Pennsylvania. What's this mean as far as the radar goes? Here's the latest high-resolution rapid refresh model for tonight. Let's start things off at about 5 o'clock this evening. That band sinking now to the south a little bit, getting more of Ashtabula, Lake, Cuyahoga counties over towards Erie County, PA, and that's why lake effect snow watches, warnings, and advisories are out. So we go into the night tonight, well past sunset. Here's 8 o'clock this evening, and I apologize if the map's a little hard to read. Youngstown is right, or the airport anyways, right there. Downtown's about right here. This is northern Trumbull County right in here, in northern Mercer County as well. I think if you live up towards Mespo, into Farmdale, heading over into a far northwestern part of Mercer County, this sort of organized lake effect band will sink far enough to the south that you have a chance of picking up some accumulating snow this evening. Here's the snow accumulations on the same model, keeping most of the accumulations up in Ashtabula County and northwest PA. But once you're down into northern parts of Trumbull, northern Mercer counties, someone up there can get an inch, maybe even an inch and a half, if that band stays pretty well organized. So that's something to watch out for after sunset this evening. For the rest of us, mostly just flurries for the night tonight. All right, let's turn our attention to Friday and the weekend. Friday's going to be a pretty uneventful day. I think there'll be some leftover flurries in the morning, but here's the center of high pressure during the first part of the afternoon. That's building east, and that's going to shut down the lake effect. So flurries will fade away, even a little bit of sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Cold night tomorrow night. Saturday, this is turning out to be a little bit tricky. What we have going on is lots of cold air stuck at the surface. It's going to be in the teens Saturday morning. But up above our heads, warm air is going to start to push in with the aid of a southwesterly flow. And what we're going to have setting up is a layer of above freezing air a few thousand feet above our heads, but the air down here where we live will be below freezing. And with the atmosphere moistening up, getting a little more concerned about some precipitation falling out of those clouds and reaching the surface. And since we're going to be below freezing, but the clouds are going to be above freezing, this could be a little bit of freezing rain or freezing drizzle. I think this will especially be a problem out closer to Toledo, perhaps Cleveland, kind of I-71 and I-75. But even here in the Youngstown area, watch out for this Saturday morning and midday. I don't think this is a big ice storm or anything, but this could be just enough to slicken things up, especially on untreated surfaces. As we go into Sunday, the entire column of the atmosphere is warming up, and it's just plain old rain for Sunday morning. I do think that's going to get out of the way, and we'll have a decent, albeit fairly cloudy Sunday afternoon. A more significant round of rain holds off until after sunset, and then this will just be a wall of water that comes our way Sunday night. Just plan on a windy, warm, and wet Sunday night. Temperatures probably staying in the upper 40s to around 50 all night Sunday night. By Monday morning, that steady rain's gone. There could be a leftover shower. This is Monday afternoon. Strong low pressure north of the Great Lakes. Lots of wind in through here. It'll be a windy and warm day. But then the cold air is back for the rest of next week. Real quickly, the SREF plumes here. Precipitation type over the next few days. Here's our chance for snow, and flurries. But then this little red spike here, this is the white area right here. This is all Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And this is Saturday morning right here. The chance of some ice, that's the red color. And by ice, we mean freezing drizzle mostly. It spikes up to about 40% on the SREF here, the SREF model, Saturday morning. So again, something just to watch out for a few hours. The deeper we go into Saturday, and especially Saturday night, the chances increase for just liquid precipitation and no travel headaches. And real quickly, a look at the long-range temperatures. We're ramping up our temperatures for the weekend and into Monday, and then a slide downwards for next week. Thanksgiving is a week from today, probably in the mid-30s. Now, I do think as we get into December, which is right here, this is a little underdone in terms of the high temperatures. I do expect that we're going to see a bit of a warming trend as we get into early December. I suspect this is more like 40s instead of 30s for daytime highs as we get into the month of December. But plan on a pretty cold Thanksgiving week with the exception of Monday. Thank you for watching Weather for Weather Geeks today. I'll see you right back here tomorrow afternoon.